my name is Willow Rose Moon Dancer and I make videos here on YouTube. Today I really want to talk to you about mixing pantheons. So if you follow me here, you might have seen last week's video, which I'll leave right up here, about working with your ancestors. And during that video, we had talked about ways that you can get to know your ancestors and honor them and all that stuff. And one thing that I mentioned was that you should try and learn about your ancestors' customs and their culture and all that kind of stuff, because it can really help you connect with them. And as someone who has done a DNA test, I definitively know my ancestry. And I know that I am I am, for the most part, Scottish and British and Scandinavian. And so, and by mostly, I mean I'm completely European, and there's just a small fraction of my ancestry where they don't know exactly where in Europe I am. It's not like I have this little mystery sliver of something completely exotic or anything like that. I'm just a white girl. But it got me thinking about ways that I could try and connect with my not very diverse ancestry culture, that idea, my heritage. And I started thinking about like how I worship in my Wicca faith, and I follow the Greek Pantheon. And I've always followed the Greek Pantheon for as long as I've been pagan, and Wiccan specifically. I've just always been very, very connected to them. It's a mythology that I enjoy a lot. I used to read the Rick Riordan books growing up, so yeah, it was a big part of my life. But thinking about this, I started thinking about what deities my ancestors might have worshipped. And my Scandinavian ones definitely were probably worshipping the Norse mythology deities, whereas maybe my Scottish heritage might have been worshipping Celtic. And so it got me thinking about what I could do to incorporate some of those other deities as well. So back in the beginning of my journey, when I was trying to figure out my matrons and patrons and all that jazz, I had done a little bit of research about mixing deities, mixing pantheons specifically, because I had done this reading and it suggested that Odin from Norse mythology was a big part of my path, and I didn't quite understand how I was going to incorporate him into my worship because I follow the Greek Pantheon and not the Norse Pantheon. So I just kind of cut it out and pretended it didn't exist, and that was that. And so I got to researching a bit today because I knew I wanted to make this video. And it's still a very common idea that you shouldn't mix pantheons. And there is a multitude of reasons. One big one being is that people are worried that if you're mixing pantheons, that means that you are not giving individual gods and goddesses their own individuality. So what I mean by that is people are concerned that if you are trying to work with Aphrodite, that you are just using Aphrodite and Venus and any other love goddesses name interchangeably, and you're not treating them each as their own individual, but rather as like this one big entity. And people don't want the deities to take offense to the way people are addressing them. So that was a big issue, along with the fact that other people were worried that, if you're doing a ritual or something like that and you've asked two deities from different pantheons to help you, but those two deities, for one reason or another, have some sort of toxic relationship, be it that, they represent completely opposite things, or that, let's say the Norse the Norse people, like the Vikings and whatnot, were responsible for something happening in, let's say, Scotland. And so having Norse and Celtic deities working together with you would just cause conflict. I'm not very historically based. I only took ancient history in French, and I barely understood the course because it was in French. So bear with me with my examples. But yeah, so you wouldn't want those two people, those two deities, to be working together because it could cause conflict. So, in saying that though, I think it truly just depends on what you believe as a person. Because if you're someone who believes that all of the deities are in fact physical beings in this world, that they could show up right here beside me and I could touch them, kind of like physical beings, then yeah, I could see how that is an issue. Or if you are under the impression that the gods and goddesses should be revered to a higher standard, then yes. However, when it at least comes to my faith and my beliefs, I don't believe personally that the deities are actual physical beings. I envision them as personifications of the universal energy source. So in my mind, these deities don't actually have feelings because they're not real. However, that is just my personal belief, and I have nothing against anybody who does believe they are real. I'm just trying to show different sides here. So for me, I don't need to worry about that because I can't offend them in that way. Though, when I was a Christian and I followed the Christian God, I also didn't have a very traditional relationship with him, I don't think. I find that a lot of people view God as way up here and you way down here, and you need to talk to him with a certain amount of respect that you would talk to special authority figures. Whereas when I go to talk to deity, or when I was talking to God, I viewed them as a friend, someone that I had a close friendship with. So I wasn't concerned about hurting their feelings because I talked to them as a friend. And so I feel like if you're feeling that you're more closer to the same level as deities, if that's how you view yourself, then this mixing of pantheons probably is also less of a problem, because you're not worried about them taking offense, because you understand that they understand what you're trying to say. I hope this is making sense. So yeah, that's my spiel about that. Take what I said as you will. You can take pieces of what I said that rang true to you, Or you could just think that I'm crazy and not find any of this helpful, but I hope you do. Something else that I quickly wanted to discuss is reasons why you might feel the need to mix them. Because some people, it has never even occurred to them that they might want to try and like mix pantheons, but it is something that I've definitely thought about numerous times. And so these are the reasons why I think someone might be drawn to this and what types of people I think that mixing pantheons would be helpful for. So I think that definitely there are some people who are drawn to multiple pantheons. I myself am. I'm definitely mostly drawn to Greek, but I am also very curious about the Celtics and the Norse deities. And it's something that I'm thinking about looking more into. And then there are other people who don't feel drawn to any particular pantheon. So these people might be better suited for just worshiping the Lord and the Lady, or the sun and the moon, the god and the goddess, and not really give them names. But some of these people, where they may not be connected to certain pantheons, they may feel connected to various singular deities from different pantheons. And that might be a reason why they might want to mix pantheons. And the last reason is, for my purpose, is because you're trying to connect more with your ancestors. And so if your ancestors were people who are likely following different pantheons than you're following now, it might be beneficial to explore other pantheons. But the great thing, the great news that I have is that Wicca lets you do whatever you want. So if you feel that it's right for you to mix pantheons, mix pantheons. Don't listen to what some nut says on the internet, me being one of those nuts. If what they're saying doesn't sit right with you. At the end of the day, you know what your path is meant to be. You will pick the right choice. And that's really it, honestly. Just you do you, boo. But yeah, that's all I have for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you check out my Instagram so you can stay up to date with me and my daily life. And make sure you hit that like button down below so I know that you like videos like this one. And make sure you subscribe because I make videos every Tuesday, every Thursday, and every Sunday. And until next time, blessed be.